Hello all, welcome back to the tutorial of C programming for beginners. Hi, this is Sakthi Arun, an MTech student from NIT Patna, technically supporting the missile engineer. So in this tutorial, I'm going to explain you guys about constants in C. So why we need a constant in C? So in the previous lecture, I have given a tutorial about the variables in C. So whenever you declare any variables in C, so you'll be assigning the value to that variables a constant value, or sometimes you can also take a user defined values for a variable in a runtime compilation of program. So but in this video I'm going to explain you guys about constants in C. Okay, so there are various type of constants in C. So the three type of constants are literal constants, qualified constants, and symbolic constants. Okay, so these literal constants is again divided into four types. So the first one is integer, and then float, and then character, and then string. Okay, so again the characters of the these literal constants is subdivided into two types. One is a printable and another is a non-printable. Okay, so I will be explaining you guys briefly about each and every constants in this video, so watch keenly. Okay, so the first thing is I'm going to explain you guys about the literal constants. So the literal constants is actually divided into four types, as I explained in previous slide. The first thing is an integer. Okay, so the integer as an storage of 2 bytes. So how do we declare an integer literal constants? So I declare with an with a data type as int. Okay, and then identifier, any identifier I'm giving as a, and this phi. Okay, so this phi is a constant. Basically the constant should have at least one digit. Okay, so there are some basic rules were there for an integer literal constant. So the first thing is it should be in one digit, and it should not have any decimal point. Okay, because it's integer, so you should not have any decimal point. And then it should be either positive or negative. Like I'm saying, it should not have decimal point like 5.5 is not allowed, only 5 is allowed. And this should be either positive 5 or negative 5. If you don't mention a positive sign, sorry, if you don't mention a positive sign here, then it should it is taking default as 5. Okay, so there is no special characters is allowed. Like if you want to declare 55, and there is no, there shouldn't be any space between 5 and 5. Okay, it should be 55. So no special characters is allowed in integer literal constants. Okay, so these are the basic constants you need to consider while declaring the integer literal constants. The next thing is an floating point literal constants. This should be declared with a declaration syntax as data type float. Okay, followed by float with the float. Sorry, I missed to add here an identifier. Suppose you can give as a b. So float b equal to 3.14. Okay, so this 3.14 is an floating point literal constants. So here the basic constraints are similar like integer is this should have at least a decimal point value. Okay, that's what float represents. A float holds the decimal point values, fractional values, I can say in another word. Okay, so this should have a decimal point values, and then this also can include plus 3.14 positive or negative sign. If you don't include a positive sign, these are automatically default taking as an positive value. Okay, so this is what floating point literal constant represents. So here also there is no more spaces allowed, like if you want to declare here 1 4, and you should not leave any space like 3.1 space and 4. This is not allowed. Okay, so it should be included along with the 1. Okay, so there should need be any space here. And the character, next thing is character literal constants. Basically character stores on 1 byte. If you declare a char, okay, this char is a data type, and I give identifier as C, and I'm giving a code inside a single code as A. Okay, this sort as a 1 bit, 1 byte. So these are char declarations. Okay, so under the chars we have 2 types. One is a printable character, non-printable character. So in printable characters, the value can be printed using a printf statement. If you are printing, then this value will be printed. Okay, so that's what it's named as a printable character. So this A will be printed. But if you use any /n, like I explained in one tutorial video about escape sequence, where we have /n, /a and /t. Okay, this /n represents new line, /a for that, and /t for tab. So these, if you give any with a /n, this will not be printed. Okay, so these are non-printable character literal constants. And the last thing is an string literal constant. The string, it stores like an array of characters. Suppose I give missile, okay, in the character, okay, char, with an array of values. I store this, so I use a missile. So in missile you can count how much letters there. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, there is a 7 thing is there, but the memory allocation will take 8 byte, because the end of the line will have null as 0. Okay, so but though it carries an 8 byte, the length will be considered as an 7. Okay, so this is a string literal constant. You declare with a char, and then you assign that value inside this double quote. Okay, so this is how string literal constant is defined. And the next constant is a qualified constant. In qualified constants, we use a keyword as a const. So this const, what this constant represents, like directly you can find the meaning. It's a constant. Okay, so whenever you declare the constant a equal to h, the value of a is default as h. Okay, so this represents that throughout the entire function the value remains as a constant. Okay, so this is how look like. I will give a practical example. Suppose there is a function in your home. So in a room, you think like that room requires a 5 chair. You put a 5 chair inside, and then you lock the room. Okay, so in another room you find 3 chairs were there. Suppose there is a guest of 4 members are coming. If the room is open, you are allowed to count how much number of chair is there, and you take the 3 chairs. Suppose if you if any other person is coming, he want 1 chair. If the room is locked, then how he can take the chair, and he will not know whether chair is present inside or not. Okay, so that's how. If the value is fixed inside, then it is fixed. It can't be modified. But if it is open to all, if it is a transparent, you can modify it. Okay, so similarly here, const, if you don't use a const character, then you can modify the value of a, but if you use a const, then the value of h is locked for this identifier a. Okay, so this is what a qualified constant represents. The value cannot be modified inside that function. Okay, so this is what the meaning is represents. The final thing is a symbolic constant. The symbolic constant is nothing but you can give a constant value for any identifier using a pre-processed directive as defined. So while the program starts, you include like include stdio.h. You use all the pre-processed directive, right? So in that place you need to define the identifier with the pi equal to 3.14. You can also give another name like a or b, a equal to, so 10, b equal to 5. So you can, in this sense, you can use a constant values as a pre-processed directive. Okay, so this yeah, So I have given a basic explanation about the constants. So thank you all for watching this video. If you guys have any doubt, you can post it in the comments. Thank you all.